Welcome to What You Missed When You Didn't Exist. I am Corbett, and I am 54.
And I'm Lucy, and I'm 24. We're back in it.
Hooray. We're back. We sync up from time to time.
What are we talking about today, Dad?
We're going to talk about my favorite uncle.
Your favorite uncle.
And by proxy, he's your favorite uncle, too. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck. The best John Hughes film, Uncle, you could have. John Candy plays Uncle Buck. John Candy is probably noted as one of the nicest guys out there, but I've never met him, so I can't promise you that for a fact. But he's a sweet, jovial guy who is a confirmed bachelor who never wants to deal with responsibility, winds up having to deal with responsibility and take care of his brother's kids while they go for a sick relative. They kind of were vague about that, if I remember right. It was like her father, his brother's wife's father.
Yeah, it was some distant person that the kids didn't need to go for, I think.
Yeah, well, it was sick. It wasn't a funeral. They were sick.
Oh,
Nobody
yes.
died. I get the impression, I think I get the vague impression that it was a funeral, but it was not. It was sick. Kids didn't have to go, but they would have to be gone for a while because of things. They call up Uncle Buck in the middle of the night. Of course, he doesn't know who called him. Oh, yeah, that's when they first point out that Marcy next door is not totally trustworthy either. One of the next door neighbors who pops in later. But Uncle Buck, John Candy, is woken up in the middle of the night, hustles over there, wakes up the wrong house, and figures his way in. And the kids wake up the next morning, and he's in charge. Well, I mean, it's a comedy for sure, but it's kind of a mix between comedy and sort of responsibility or drama to a certain degree.
Yeah,
Um,
I could see that.
you watched it. There's certain serious elements, but they're kind of undercut by a lot of the comedic moments. And of course, he runs headlong as an adversarial character against Tia, his oldest niece. The teenager who is certain she's doing whatever she wants to do and there's nothing he can do about it. She causes a lot of friction and honestly, she's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's that teenager mindset of, I know better. I don't know why you're here. I could just watch everybody else.
And actually, she says that at one point, like, I could just watch them. Why did you bring this idiot in?
That actually makes me wonder a little bit more about John Hughes in particular, because I wonder if he enjoys. It feels like he writes from a youth perspective. Like he's telling it from the perspective of any teenager, student, kid, right? Because you've got Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which of course, there's that theory that it was all about Cameron having his mental breakdown. But what if it was just his perspective of the amazing day? And oftentimes hyperboles, exaggerations happen. And so I wonder if it's always written from the imagination and the craziness that comes from kids' imaginations. So like Uncle Buck, maybe Uncle Buck wasn't actually that bad and he was just a guy. But because you hear things from your parents, you kind of take things out of proportion a little bit and it just becomes totally out of whack.
That's an interesting take on it. I've never, because in that sense, you're talking about them as a sort of a Greek myth or like a demigod. I mean, if you think about it, it has a certain particular nature because like Ferris Bueller, he's always talking to the camera outside of anybody else realizing he's talking to us, the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to get away with practically anything with no effort. Uncle Buck, on the other hand, has much more human qualities where he keeps, like his car keeps exploding on a regular basis and he goes to the school, goes to the bathroom and all the bathrooms are, the urinals are like little kid urinals. So he has to like, big old John Candy has to kind of hunker down to hit his target. And it's ridiculous. There's silly moments.
Mm-hmm.
He does step up and becomes bigger than life many times in the movie where you go, whoa, this is a really big guy. And there's moments where he does, I guess maybe you might have something. This could be like a current Greek myth to a level. I think one of my favorite moments from the movie, and it's like in the trailer if you look it up, is when he makes a birthday breakfast for Macaulay Culkin's character, oh, doggone it, I should know the character's name. Miles and Maisie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he makes a pancake breakfast for him, and he uses a snow shovel to flip the pancakes because they're that big. It's kind of funny. There's little bits all through there, but there is a sort of underside to Uncle Buck where he makes money by betting on horses, but I think it's implied that he's betting on a fixed race, like he knows he's going to make money if he goes and does this. He knows he's going to bet on this one thing, and it's going to pay him out for the year. And there's a point in the movie where he's got the kids in the car and he doesn't have any way else to get there to do it, and he's just going to have to take the kids to the track, and he kind of comes around. So sorry to spoil that for you.
It's ruined. Terrible.
I first saw this when it came to the theaters because I was working in the theater at the time. I saw it probably 2-3 times a night, just walking in and walking out over and over and over again. But I will say it is one of the last John Hughes films, and we've already talked about Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club and quite a few of those. If I was going to speculate on Uncle Buck, it's a really different take on the coming of age. In Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you had Ferris Bueller, and it was all about really Cameron kind of becoming a man to a certain degree. But it was mostly Cameron doing something. Ferris was just a catalyst, and he was kind of like making these elements. He did the same thing with the Breakfast Club, and it's all about what makes an adult. In this case, it went backwards because you have Uncle Buck, who's already technically an adult, but he's still rather childlike to certain degrees. And you have Tia, the counterpoint, who's always fighting against him. She's also trying to be an adult, but is not yet. It's an interesting take that John Hughes kind of went with on this one.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like in the same John Hughes sense as well, kind of with Ferris Bueller, how there's always that theory that it's Cameron's imagination, or like, right? We talked about that. I wonder if it's almost told from the perspective of Macaulay Culkin's character, or maybe from Tia's perspective. Like, just because some of those things are so extreme, granted, those could happen, and that's entirely possible, but especially when we get to like the birthday pancakes that are huge and you see the shovel, like it seems odd for that to be a natural thing. But we are also recognizing the fact that Uncle Buck hasn't taken care of anyone except for himself before. Like, he's always been like that, which is why we kind of see his girlfriend pop up over and over and over again, being like, hey, like, you got to start figuring out life because this is ridiculous, kind of thing.
Shanice.
Yes, Shanice.
Think that one through. I always thought that name was interesting to me for some reason. But yeah, I think with her it's interesting because she keeps popping up and like, you gotta get it together. You gotta be an adult. And I think when she comes over to check on him to see if he's actually being the adult, walks in on him with Marcy, the next door neighbor, who realizes he's home alone, if you'll excuse that. And decides to make her move, and Shanice walks in on the two of them. And when I say a move, she's dancing with him, so it's nothing out there, but it's obvious. And I do love the bit where Shanice walks in and everybody else in the room realizes what's happening, and John Candy's still dancing. just doing his little dance things. Classic stuff. I think Uncle Buck also stands up for the kids. I always like that too. Even as a kid, I really like that because you want somebody to kind of be in your corner. When the clown shows up and he's drunk, and he's like, "Hey, I don't think we want this here. I think you should just go." And the clown goes off, and Uncle Buck knocks him one.
Yep.
And also when the principal pulls him in for, I think it was Maisie, who was a silly heart.
Yes.
And I love the cuts in that where they cut out to the principal's waiting room, and the other kids they hear the principal yelling at him, "That is not an excuse." All this stuff. Because as a kid, you're terrified of what's happening in the principal's office. It's scary stuff. But Uncle Buck comes out as the hero of that when he flicks a quarter at the principal and have a rat chew that thing off your face. Oh, man.
Jeez.
He's a good guy. He's ultimately a good guy who's just not very good at being an adult yet.
Well, I think we're all kind of fighting with that balance because you you either are the kid that grew up way too fast and you just needed, like, you had that independence, or you were the kid that never quite grew up and that kind of carries you into adulthood almost. And so I think we kind of, like, you're just battling that balance the whole time because you've got Tia who's got the attitude and she's like, well, I just want to be a grown up. I have been doing this. It's fine. And she's upset because you've got this adult who's supposed to be the adult and he's just never had that chance or that opportunity to be the adult because he was always the kid.
Mhm.
Because he's the younger brother, isn't he?
I kind of got the impression he was the older one, but you don't see him and his brother together very much.
Yeah,
It's just that first scene and the last scene, and that's it.
yeah.
And actually, most of it is him dealing with his sister-in-law.
True.
That comes into play more importantly, like when he's going through the family photos and notices like he was cut out.
Yeah.
It was a little blunt because it was a perfectly framed photo that was folded over and pushed to the middle. So there's like
Mm-hmm.
gaps on the side. Like, dude, not even cool. So yeah, it was obvious she did not like or trust him.
Yeah.
I think that plays off in Tia. Tia was kind of becoming her mother because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think she had to turn around to realize that, she needed her mother just as much as her mother wanted her around. As a parent, you get frustrated,
Yeah.
at least from my experience.
From the parent perspective, when it came to finding out like who was going to take care of us for the weekend or for a period of time, like what was your deciding factors in some of that, I guess?
Okay, as a parent, honestly, you're exhausted and you pick whoever will do it. And that does not always lead to good plans. In their situation for a long time, I think Marcy was the one who says it, like you can only ask this kind of imposition on a family member because they could be gone for months. And like he wasn't gone for months. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the position where you don't know how long you're going to be gone and you have to have the kids watched, oof. I mean, if I was in the same position as the parents, I would have probably called on a family member too, because that's the only way you could deal with it. Though, okay, in Uncle Buck's situation, he was living in a motel, I think, when he woke up, or he was staying at, it was like a one-room dive, from what I could tell. There was a
Yeah.
neon sign outside. So it was obvious, like in a normal situation, like, hey, we're going to bring the kids over to you and we're going to have to leave them with you for a week or however long it's going to take, and we'll be back. And family kind of takes that brunt and shoulders it as best they can because that's how family works. Well, most families.
Yeah.
In Buck's case, you wouldn't have wanted to take the kids to that situation. That would have been horrible. I am kind of surprised he never went back though, like to get anything from his, his room or his place or whatever it was,
Yeah.
because he just basically hung out at the house all the time.
Well, maybe he didn't have a lot of stuff to begin with because he was a persistent gambler and
That's
he
true.
didn't have a consistent job, which was part of that trust problem.
I don't know. He didn't seem like he had a go bag,
Yeah.
and I remember like one of the jokes they put in is when he's getting ready, a bowling ball falls out of the closet and hits him in the head.
True.
So he obviously has a closet, and there's a bowling ball in it. So
Yeah.
he's living there for sure. It's not a pick it up and go type moment.
Well,
Though it seems like he should have been that character.
yeah, but there's also that difference of like when you go over to, your rich put together person's house, they're going to have everything that you need. So why would you bring your own crappy stuff when you could just steal their stuff?
Well, technically he's straight up because when she's like, I'll write a few checks out. It's like, no, I've got money. You've got some checks? Can you write those out to do the thing?
Yeah.
I can't say much because I've definitely been in that situation, so I know.
I would say I'm watching it. I've adopted a lot of Uncle Buck's parenting style to a certain degree.
Really?
No, just kind of like watching it. Like, yeah, a little bit.
How so?
No, just like when Tia first walks in, she gets a cup of coffee because she's
Yeah.
15, and she takes it black and just starts drinking it, and you can see in her face like,
Yeah.
And Uncle Buck is like, your mom know you drink coffee? And she's like, I wouldn't be doing it to impress you. all right, fair enough. Go right ahead. Like, sure, you want to do that to yourself? Good luck.
Okay, but you've never done that. When have you done that?
I let you guys do a lot of dumb things. It's fine. It's just like you're gonna learn. Better you learn it and somebody's there to catch you when you fall than to like start doing it later in life and then have like no idea how to get out of the problem. Like
Yeah.
with Riley drinking, I was like, let me show you how to drink. Here you go. Good luck.
I've never had to watch somebody else's children for any length of, like, any serious length of time.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't know what that's like. Although you did. You were like the babysitter for your Uncle Cassidy
Yeah. I don't know if
in
I was
Chicago,
I don't know if I
no
was
less.
a babysitter though, because
A nanny?
I feel like I was never left alone with them because
Oh,
I was
because
more
they didn't
like,
trust you.
well, could be. I don't know. I was more like an assistant almost. Like I was
I just made the
helping
appointments.
helping to manage the squirrely young children slash well, I guess he would have been a toddler. My cousin would have been a toddler because
Simon, right?
yeah, because Anya was pregnant at the time. So I was helping watch Simon the toddler while Anya was actively pregnant, like within
Actively pregnant.
like within a month of giving birth, pretty much.
Yeah, she was swollen up like a watermelon for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just know you're zooming around the mean streets of Chicago living that life. So
Hey, I was living a pretty cool life. It was exciting.
yeah.
That was where I got my fashion sense when I came back from Chicago.
Did you ever make them pancakes with a snow shovel? I don't think so.
Did not. Was not that cool.
Well, I would hope we can all have pancakes with snow shovel one day.
I just feel like you would have to sanitize it and it would be so much work to do.
It's already salted, so you
Ew. No one wants salty pancakes. Terrible. Terrible.
Oh dear. Anyway,
My goodness.
so this has been a sum up of Uncle Buck, the movie, which I would recommend you watch if you ever get a chance. It's definitely one of those little hidden gems. I don't think it's quite as popular as Ferris Bueller or Breakfast Club, but it's in there.
It's a hard one to find, so good luck if you do find it. I think it may be on something free, like Tubi or a random show.
I'm sure it's out there. Anyway, well, this has been What You Missed When You Didn't Exist. So get out there and get some pancakes.
Or watch some kids.